The topic we are going to talk about is hydraulic fracturing. This topic is controversial because people don't know if it affects the environment positively or negatively. Hydraulic fracturing is the process of drilling and injecting fluid into the ground at a high pressure in order to fracture shale rocks to release natural gas. To begin the process, they extract a well by drilling vertically into the desired depth, then turns 90 degrees and continues horizontally for several thousand feet into the shale believed to contain the trapped natural gas. Next, a mix of water, sand, and various chemicals is pumped into the well at a high pressure in order to create fissures in the shale through which the gas can escape. The third step is natural gas escapes through the fissures and is drawn back up the well to the surface, where it is processed, refined, and shipped to a market. The final step is wastewater returns to the surface after the fracking process is completed.
The largest boom in hydraulic fracturing is occurring in North America. However, it is becoming more popular around the world. Many countries are turning to natural gases extracted from shale rock as a more economically stable energy source. Many countries, including the U.S., have been praising fracking as a way to make the country's energy source more environmentally friendly. While controversy is raging around whether or not fracking is actually safe for the environment, interest has been growing in fracking among business owners. 27 times the number of fracking sites were created in 2013 than were created in 2012 in the state of Pennsylvania alone. Pennsylvania and New York, along with many other states along the western side of the Appalachian Mountains, are experiencing heightened interest in fracking. This increase in interest is due to the discovery of very large Marcellus shale rock bed in this area. However, across America, a large increase everywhere has occurred. Around the world, fracturing is taking longer to catch on. More Western nations favor fracking because they see it as a way to become less dependent on oil-producing nations.
The positives of hydraulic fracking. It makes it possible to produce oil and natural gas in places where conventional technologies are ineffective. Fracking has unlocked massive new supplies of oil and clean burning natural gas from dense deposits of shale supplies that increase our country's energy security and improve our ability to generate electricity, heat homes, and power vehicles for generations to come. Hydraulic fracturing has also boosted local economies, providing tax revenues to the government and creating much-needed high-paying American jobs.
The process of hydraulic fracturing is detrimental to the environment. To create a drill site, large areas of land must be cleared. And because such large amount of fracking is happening in places like upstate New York, where the land is lush and the forest dense, there is a large loss of animal habitat and trees. Also, each gas well needs on average 400 tanker trucks to take supplies to and from the site. That is a lot of carbon emissions and energy used before the process of fracking even begins. Also, much controversy surrounds the creation of pipelines. While spills and leaks are not common, they do happen, and when they occur, they have a drastic effect on wildlife. Recently, a large debate erupted surrounding the allowance of a tar sands oil pipeline that would stretch from Canada and end in South Portland. No new pipeline was going to be built, as a pipeline already runs from South Portland to Canada, carrying crude oil. However, the pipeline's flow would be reversed, meaning that natural gas would be brought to South Portland through the pipeline to be distributed across America. Many locals opposed this because they disagreed with tar sands oils, which is just another name for fuel produced by hydraulic fracturing. Others disliked the pipeline idea because South Portland would then become a hub of industrial pollution caused by tanker trucks and other equipment needed to transport the oil. Those who wanted the pipeline saw it as an opportunity to bring jobs to Maine and believed fracking was safe.
Fracking removes millions of gallons of precious fresh water from the water cycle. Each well uses between 2 and 5 million gallons of locally sourced fresh water, which will be permanently contaminated by ground contaminants and toxic chemicals contained in the fracking fluid. Half of this water returns to the surface, where it is stored in sealed containers until it can be injected deep underground in oil and gas waste wells. No one is entirely sure what happens to the other half of the water used in the process, though there are indications that at least some of this toxic mixture makes its way back into the water supply. So, in conclusion, while hydraulic fracturing is a viable way to create energy, it does ruin some of the Earth's most precious resources, such as land and fresh water. However, No one can agree on a method of energy sourcing that doesn't have its pitfalls. Hydraulic fracturing shouldn't be overdone and should be kept away from communities and water sources.